Welcome, everyone. We want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to be with us. Come on, let's get to the root of it. Ow!
In these times that we live, we take strides to move forward. We strive to be more, stay strong and be focused. Start a while, we make choices, live or die. Take over starts at the root, and the truth may be hard to swallow. Step one, self-love above anything else. Unlock peace and happiness.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, and thank you for tuning in to At the Root of It. My name is Shannon, and on tonight's show, we are going to talk about some things just about success. This month so far has been about motivation and how we can keep our eye on the prize and how we can keep striving towards our goal, because sometimes we get at a stuck place when we're trying to achieve a certain goal or aspiration that we set for ourselves. But before I get into it, I'm going to start sharing. And before I get to sharing, I just want to start by just saying that our mission statement here at the Root of It is that we are trying to build a community of both men and women who are on the journey of self-healing and love, okay, or self-love and healing, all right, and who is making it a conscientious effort to change who we are or who we were into who we are becoming, okay, and that takes some deep-rooted work, all right. So before we get into it, let's just start sharing. I'm going to start sharing, getting people on. Now, it is also Resurrection Sunday, so even if people are busy at this time, I truly do understand. But I'm going to start sharing. All right. Let me make sure that it's down. And I'm going to share. Okay. Hello. Good evening, y'all. We're sharing right now. So I'm sending it out to all of my peoples tonight. Hello, guys. Hello. All right. So I was praying as I normally do when doing the show, right? And normally I get ideas from numerous things and it just pops and it just goes. But this week was kind of difficult for me because I was in a play. And so I was getting prepared for a play. And it turned out very well for today at church. But in the process of me preparing for the play, I had to pray and ask God, hey Tip, and ask God what to speak about today. And so my daughter and I was having a conversation. I believe it was like 2 weeks ago, when we were talking about how people from generations before me will hold success higher than character, morals, and integrity, and how people base and how people treat people who they deem successful, opposed to people who have morals, character, and integrity. So with that, we want to make sure that we're operating in the right heart space when we're going about our day-to-day businesses. And the reason why I say that is because you never know what type of people will come or what your business is going to attract and who they're going to attract. So before you get propositioned or asked to do something, I want you to check your moral compass. I want you to check your character compass, and your integrity compass. Now, it may not be, this may be just for me. However, I believe that we all need to know that good business practices is good business practices, okay? And we don't want to have to second guess if things are going to happen because we did things the wrong way. Because how many of us know that we reap what we sow? That reciprocity doesn't miss anybody. So if our heart space and our intentions are not in the right place, when even when doing business, now we always talk about how like our personal lives, and how we treat each other, but what do you do in business? What do you do when you are given a choice to do something that goes against your moral or ethical code? What do you do when you are on the road to success and you're really trying to strive to reach that goal, and someone propositions you with something that goes against your character, goes against your integrity, goes against your morals? So I'm going to give you some definitions on those things so that you can get an idea of exactly what's going on. All right. So for character, the definition of character is the mental or moral qualities distinctive to an individual. And the similarities for character is your personality, your nature, your disposition, your temper, your makeup, your persona, okay, your attributes, things about you, your qualities, your traits, your identity, your uniqueness. All right, that's your character. What makes you you? All right. And the second word is moral. And the definition is a person's standards of behavior or beliefs concerning what is and is not acceptable for them to do. All right. So it's your principles, your standards, your scruples, your ideals. Okay. A lot of times people don't have the same ideologies as you do, but you still have to stand firm in in how you want to uphold your business. Do you want to remember any do you want to be remembered by having unmoral or immoral business practices? Hey Teef, how are you? Good evening, good evening. Thank you for tuning in, Mama. I know it's Resurrection Sunday and people are eating dinner and with their people. Please don't forget to share, like, and comment and things of that nature, because we're just getting to the nitty gritty. We want to talk about what do you do when you're on a road to success and you have things that come up that may go against your character, your morals, and your integrity. The other question is, what are you willing to do or not to do to get to success? Okay. And we just have to check our heart space. Oh, sorry, Tia. We just need to check our heart space to know that we're in the right heart space to do what we're supposed to do and it be successful. Because like I said, we know that reciprocity doesn't miss anyone and that what goes around comes around. So when we're doing business, again, we talk about our personal time with our friends and family, but and we know to be of good character and integrity with them. But what about the people on the outside? So I know that last week or the week before, because we're still on this motivation kick for the month of April, okay? But this is where we just want to stop and check our heart posture really quickly, all right? And so because success is something that is we're striving to get to, and some people, like now today in the media, you see that people will do things that they normally wouldn't do so that they can have status, so that they can be Instagram models, rappers, anything, they'll go against their moral code, their ethics, their character and their integrity to get to that success. And then once it is all said and done and they get to the success, it is called right back to your character, your morals, and your integrity. And it's another reason why we talk about this too, because who was in the news all last week and the week before last but Will Smith, right? So when we look and view that and what he went through with Chris Rock, right? That was not his character, right? That from what we know of Will Smith, we know that that's not his character, right? We know that he has worked very hard to establish his persona, his standard of who he is in his work that he has done and what he stands for and the things that he does to encourage and uplift people, right? So all of a sudden this big thing happens. So I'm just taking it from this standpoint, but it's still about success at any rate, because he has reached his highest pinnacle. And at the end of the day, people are judging him not from a standpoint that he could have just been at his wits' end with people of him and his family being the butt of the jokes of everything, to him saying, you know, enough is enough. You're going to stop coming against my family. But it still took over and made it seem like that was his character all along, that was his moral standard, and that was how he always operated. And this is how people forget who we are, even who ourselves, who we are. We forget when we are striving for success. We forget where we came from. We forget that we are human. We forget that we make mistakes. We forget that we're not perfect. We forget all of these things and hold people at a standard that sometimes can't even be reached, right? So now this man who acted out of emotion and not rationale, right? He didn't act out of logic, he acted out of emotion, right? Which is still a part of everybody's characteristics, right? Whether good, bad, or ugly. Everybody has these emotions. But because he acted out of emotions instead of logic, right? Now he's no longer allowed at the academy for 10 years. Oh, he is ostracized. Oh, he is this and oh, he is that. It's all about choices. But what are you willing to do? What are you willing to lose for success? Do you believe that you have to lose anything, your character, your moral compass, or your integrity to reach success? I know many of people who have not sacrificed those things and still became successful. Okay. And I just really believe that when we change our mindset and our vantage point on what we deem successful and what we deem as a good person, okay? Because just because you're successful does not indicate that you're a good person. That just means you're a businessman, right? It doesn't matter if you beat people out of their money to get to the top. They don't know the intricate details of how you got there. They just know that you're there and they praise you for it without knowing that you have given up on your integrity, your morals, and your character. And your character tends to speak for you even when your mouth is closed. Okay, because when people talk about you, they talk about your character. And I know I say all the time, I'm 2 years old, right? And I'm almost 2. In June, I'll actually be 2, right? As an adult. And I'm not ashamed to say that because I don't put on airs for anyone, okay? Because I was stunted. I really believe that I was stunted in my mind. And although it's been a slow process, nevertheless, like I said last week, like I said in many shows prior to, that slow and easy wins the race. And I'm not up against your clock. I'm up under his clock. And it's all about his divine timing, right? But success is judged by what you have, what is tangible, and it doesn't have anything to do with your moral compass, your character, and your integrity. Because guess what? A lot of people will probably be a lot farther. Good evening, Dee. How are you? Thank you for joining us. A lot of people will probably be farther along in their quest for success if they gave away their character, morals, and integrity to get there. But because people try to stay on the up and up, because they do know that reciprocity doesn't miss anyone, and that at the end of the day, you're going to reap whatever you sow. It may not be this year. It may not be next year. It may not even be 10 years, but it could be that 15th year. And then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose, and you don't know why you're going through it. That's just how reciprocity works. Okay, you can't pinpoint it, you can't call it, you don't know how it's going to come, right? So we have to make a conscientious effort to continue to walk in integrity, to continue to walk in your moral compass, keep your morals together, and to walk in your character, to know who you are as a person and do not waver because something is being handed to you. I know a lot of times, just like right before, this is Resurrection Sunday, but before this day happened, the enemy, Jesus went up on the mount and he was offered the world, right? Even though Jesus is the light of the world, right? The devil thought he had him, so he offered him something that was already his. But what if he was not morally or characteristically or integrity wise the man that he was supposed to be? What if he was Judas, right? Judas would have took it because he showed his hand. He showed that he valued the coins more than he valued salvation, more than he valued goodness, more than he valued the saving of the world through the living word of Jesus Christ. He gave that man up, which it was still written. But did it stop the success of Jesus from doing what he was supposed to do? No, in all actuality, it didn't. And he kept his character, his morals, and his integrity intact and still succeeded in doing what he was supposed to do, which was to die for us and rise again on the third day. So I didn't mean to make that into a Resurrection Sunday message, but hey, it goes well too. So, integrity. Integrity means the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness. Honesty, similar words are honesty, uprightness, honor, ethics, morals, righteousness, nobility, virtue, decency, fairness, sincerity, and trustworthiness, trustfulness. We have to make sure that we can be trustworthy, that our word is our bond. And I know that, you know, everything is first, first partaker, like everything else, right? And I try to walk in that. And the reason why is because um I don't want to reap anything bad anymore. Now, do I slip? Do I need help sometimes? I don't intend to lie or do anything, but I try to um stand in front of people and be as honest as I can without being um offensive or anything like that. Integrity is something that speaks for you, just like your morals and just like your character, right? So, in the play that I was in today, right, when I was first reading a part for the play, it was of a character that was very seductive, right? And so everybody who knows me knows that I'm an extrovert. I'm a person that I'm outgoing, I'm outspoken, I'm loud, I'm one of those wild and crazy guys, right? I'm just like, I'm friendly, I'm all of that, right? So when they gave me that character, they was like, "Oh, you'll be fine," right? And I said, "This is not my character. Although I'm loud, this is not how I portray myself. This is not how I act in public. This is not how I carry myself, right? But, outside appearances may say different, right? But my character, it was like, okay, so I'm loud, so I have to be this. And it may not be that. They may just thought that I fit the character. But it was so hard to act out of character. You understand? Because I'm not the seductive person. I'm more of a tomboy than anything else, right? So to do that and to stand in my character and still play a part that's not me, it was crazy. But I also know that being that character, I can see how a person with those traits, and what she went through, my character I'm talking about, I can see how people can like choose to view a person off of what they show you, right? But one line in the play was that you never judge a book by its cover. All right. So um the road to success, right? And the choices that we make to get there. Character, morals, and integrity is sometimes the last thing that people think about before making a decision in business. Okay. Um, it can be as small as taking a loan underhandedly, or not following procedures, or maybe the PPP loans that was out and you didn't really use it for business, or something that's that goes against your character in business, but it got you the success. But will it be worth it? Can it come back to bite you? I just want to give people something to think about as they're doing their business and as they're growing their businesses and their connections, to always stay in good character. You want people to speak good about you. And I hope, and I really, really do hope that people speak good about At the Root of It. But I want to just drive home. And it's not just in business too, because you can be successful in life and have no character, morals, or integrity. And people will view your success as great, even though you have a poor character, even though you are not a good person. And I'm not saying that just being a good person is the only thing that matters. But when you're judged by what you have and not what's on the inside of you, then guess what? People miss out on you, and they miss out on what you can bring to the table because they judge the book by its cover. I'm also having this conversation because, you know, people will look at other people and think that, well, if they're not successful, how do you gauge that? How do you know what's successful and what's not? Because you have something. Now, the Bible does say, and if Tifa's on here, maybe she can put up that scripture, but the Bible does say that you try the spirit by the spirit and that you are judged by your fruits, right? But what happens when your fruit is taking just a little bit longer than necessary, or that you think is necessary? Now, we're still talking and believing in divine timing, right? And but what do? Do you take the offers that come and can present you with an opportunity that may go against your moral code? Would you do that for your strive to success? I really wanted this to be a dialogue. And the reason being is because at the end of the day, there's so many people that wants to be successful that will sell their soul. And the Bible says, what shall a man profit that he gain the whole world and lose their soul? Okay? And I think that's where this really comes from, because as I sat and watched one of my friends, and he's younger than me, and I watched the different things that he played on his social media, right? And the kids these days are so impressionable that they are so wrapped up in success that they don't care how they get it. They'll mimic these rappers, they'll mimic these girls, they'll mimic everything and forget about their moral code. So I believe that we, as people who have teenagers and young adults in their lives, that we really need to drive home that your morals and your characters really do matter as well. And that at the end of the day, when you gain all of that through your ill-gotten ways, what's next? What do you do? And that's right, Tifa. Only God can judge the intent of a person. Yes, and that's so true. But how? I mean, have we ever stood in judgment of a person off of an intent? You know, have we? Just a self check. So I also have the definition of success, and it's the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. Okay, so we want to succeed, but we want to succeed with good morals, characters, and integrity. So moral character can be conceptualized as an individual's disposition to think, feel, and behave in an ethical versus unethical manner, or as a subset of individual differences relevant to immorality. And that's from kilthub.cmu.edu. All right. So moral character can be conceptualized as an individual's disposition to think, feel, and behave in an ethical versus unethical manner. All right. So I have some famous quotes, okay? And one of them, and this is from www.inc.com, and this quote is by Jason Demers. And it says, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. It is better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation." And I really love that quote. All right. It's two quotes, but that last one really, it is better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation. Be you. Be who God called you to be, and hold your character, morals, and integrity intact as you do it. You'll be blessed in the long run. And although people may not understand why you do the things that you do, and maybe you're the slow and easy wins the race, but you'll know that you've earned it, and you've earned it in good standing. Okay? Good standing. Um, quotes, these are some quotes as well. "The greatest glory in living lies not in never failing, not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." Another quote is, "The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing." Another one is, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life." And the last one is, "If life were predictable, it would cease to be life and be without flavor." Now, I don't know about you guys, but I like flavor. I like flavorful things. I really do. So the secret of your success is determined by your daily agenda. So 2 weeks ago, we started putting into play um, things that we can do to help motivate us. Okay, it was one that we could go on a dopamine fast, fasting against our cell phones and video games, and even porn for people, and really trying to do something else, right? And it also talked about how you can reach your short-term goals and shortening your short-term goals, because short-term goals, right, normally when they ask about short-term goals, they normally talk about your 2-year plan opposed to your 5-year plan, your 5-year plan being your long-term and your short-term being 2 years. But how about your short-term being a day, right? Writing out what you have to do per day and getting it done. So it says the secret of your success is determined by your daily agenda. However difficult life may seem, there's always something you can do and succeed at. Your positive action combined with positive thinking results in success. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. I want you guys to really understand that. No matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, stay motivated, stay focused, write your agenda down, know that you will and can accomplish it. And although you see slow progress, it is still progress. And I don't know, maybe this is about me, because we're talking, and I'm not adverse. I'm not adverse to say. I don't know if I said that right. But I'm not ashamed to say that although I don't see what I saw and still see for at the root of it, I'm still going to keep my moral compass. I'm still going to make sure that my character is intact. And that is also protecting yourself from people, places, and things. Because you may get into something or you may meet people that may take you off your square or may lead you in a direction that will go against your moral code, your moral or your ethics or your character or your integrity, right? So guard your heart and guard your energy, guard who you allow to be around you, because there are people who are sent to distract you, especially if you're doing something that is right. Okay? So I just want you to really keep that in mind. And maybe it's just something for you to remember. So when and if it does arises, that hey, I know how to do this. I know how to get over this hump because I will succeed. I will no longer lose, right? And like I said, we're just keeping up the motivation theme of the month because motivation is needed. Okay, people need that gentle push to keep going. People need those good affirmations from people. And if you can't get it from people, you need to go in the mirror and pat yourself on the back and say, good job, Shannon. Good job, Tifa. Good job, D. Good job, Tan. Good job, right? Good job today. I set my priorities. I set the things that I need to do, and I am going to succeed. All right. But putting your daily agenda up there is a must. All right. So last week we was talking about fortitude versus aptitude, right? And the fortitude to having the bravery and the ability and the willingness to go forward is what we need. But we also need discernment. We also need direction. And we also need a team around us to help us understand if our ideals or ideologies go along with the image and what we're trying to showcase of our business. So let's take Tifa for instance. Tifa is a designer and she can design anything. She's a party planner, a party decorator. She makes everything, right? But what if she was propositioned to do something at a place that she wouldn't normally go? So I'm gonna make this story interesting. And she might not be on it right now, but I'm gonna make this story interesting. So she's a designer, right? And she comes and she gets an order to do um to do a party in like a tavern or um like a boudoir. I don't know. Something that's really, really, really not good, right? Would she do it? Me knowing my sister and my friend, I know that that job would be a job that she would probably turn down because that may go against her moral code, her integrity, and her character, right? Now, Tifa, are you on here? I posed the question, right? Because you are the ultimate designer and you do parties for everybody and you can design things, right? And I was saying, because of who you are and your character, your morals, and your integrity goes before you, right? And I was just saying, what if you was propositioned to do a party for, say, a sex party? Would you do that? Would that go against your moral code? Would that go against your characteristics or your integrity? Would you not take that job? But the money is good. What if they paid you $5,000 to do it? Would you take it? Those are the questions that we ask. Now, I know that she's not driven by money, even though money fixes things. That's what the Bible says, right? But she's not driven by money. So I don't believe that she would do that job. I know that I wouldn't do that job because it's like it would feel weird. It would feel like I'm not supposed to be in that place, right? What if your proposition with those things? Would you do it for the love of the money or the need of the money or the want of the money, even though putting yourself in those atmospheres and those places may ultimately put you in a bind or put you in a bind spiritually, not just physically, but spiritually bind you up, start things happening in your mind that you may not understand. You don't know, you know what I mean, exactly how you would respond to those things, right? So I just want us to make sure that we know that as we go along and as our businesses grow, that we stay with a good character, that our name precedes us. There's so many people now that they're trying to make a name of themselves and they don't care how they're doing it. I love that face. I love you, Tans. You good? Happy Easter, Mama. I'm gonna call you once the show is over. But we're just talking about success and what we're willing to do, and how people judges success and what you have opposed to your character, your morals, and your integrity, and that's how they base if they like you or not on what you have opposed to who you are as a person, right? Not being able to dig deeper than what that surface is, right? Because we all get pulled in by what we see, right? But men are attracted by things that they see, and women are attracted by what they hear. So things that may come up that may go against your integrity may be with those senses. Oh, what you hear, what is told to you may take you out of your integrity or your character, right? We just want to be mindful. Again, I this was one of the shows that I just was like, okay, we can talk about this because a lot of times people will give up, and I'm not talking about people that I know personally, and I even use Will Smith as an example of how his character got tarnished because he showed an emotion opposed to using logic. And the fact that they did not look at his character, his morals, or his integrity during that time, but they just looked at his success and who he was, right? Forgetting that he's human, forgetting that he has emotions, forgetting that people act out of character sometimes, but that does not mean that that is who they are as people. So, and I saw so many people just turn on him like, oh, I'm so disappointed. Oh, there's so much, but we don't think about who they are as a person because we don't allow them to be a person because of their success. Do you agree with that? We don't allow people. Does anybody agree with that? Please let me know. Please let me know in the comments. Because I could just be talking. It could just be my perspective. But I think that we need to be careful who we judge lest we be judged. We have to be careful that we don't get it twisted that our perfection in our eyes does not dictate that that's really perfection. Okay, that's just like parents who have actually they have successful kids, but their kids are horrible people, right? What happens with that? So we throw out the fact that they're bad people, but because they're successful, that covers a multitude of sin. No, we have to get to this. We have to get to our character. We have to change what's on the inside of us. And, the answers don't come easy all the time, but your willingness to seek to find is more important. Your willingness to want to know how I can change that characteristic about me so I won't be there anymore. Whether it's fear, whether it's just being stuck in a way that you've done things, and you never thought that you needed to change until it was time to change, and things of that nature. Like, we really just have to be mindful and have more grace for people, and really teach our kids about morals. There's so many. I'm a cab driver, like y'all know. I know I tell y'all that all the time, but I'm a cab driver, right? So I get to see so many people act outside of their character because of what they see on social media. So they act, and they react because of how they seen something on a TikTok, or even a movie. Like, how many people, how many strippers got in my car, and I really heard them say, use what you got to get what you want. Like, really. And not even thinking that that's a character flaw, or that their moral compass is off, or that they don't walk in integrity. Because if you're going to use what you got to get what you want, that means you're willing to manipulate. That means you're willing to steal. That means you're willing to lie. That means that you're willing to set things up so it works in your favor, which is still manipulation, right? But and then once you do all of those things, now you're successful, and now you look like you got something, but your soul is gone. Your moral compass just spun out of control, and it's no longer able to direct you, because you went all the way left with it, because you used what you got to get what you want. When I hear those things, you know, I think about what they were surrounded by, right? What they allow in their ear gates, and what they allow in their eye gates, to let them have that, or make them have that mindset. What type of atmospheres were there around that help perpetuate that thought process, right? Because that's not a good thought process. And if you heard your 3-year-old say that, or a 13-year-old say that, and you are the parent that laughs with them, then you're raising up a child to not be worried about those three major things, which are vital for us to be good and whole, right? And this may sound like a whole lot of babbling, and maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But we just have to be mindful that, our life is not our own, right? And when we want to accomplish certain things, we have to make conscientious decisions to be upright, and before people. That's for me. That may not be for you guys. And I'm not talking about validation. I'm just talking about your character. When somebody says your name, you want somebody to then identify you in a positive mindset, or a positive outlook, opposed to saying, oh God, this girl does XYZ, and this your character will speak for you. Okay? So I just wanted to make sure that this message got out. It wasn't really necessarily for an hour, right? But it was enough time for me to get the message out that really needs to be put out tonight. And that message is, again, that strive for your success, but make sure that your character, your morals, and your integrity are intact. Sometimes you'll get propositioned by people, places, and things that will take you off track. I pray right now that we get discernment, okay? That we are able to discern the people, places, and things that may come in our lives to distract us, to get us off of our goal, and to take us off of our moral compass. There's just certain things that we should not accept. And that's also dependent on your walk of life and how you live your life. But if you're trying to succeed and you're trying to generate generational wealth. Your foundation has to be built on something solid. And what better than your character, your integrity, and your morals? It'll go before you. That's right, Tifa. Character can also be described as reputation because it goes before you. It really does. And it's very important. But it doesn't have anything to do with validation, it has everything to do with your success and it being fruitful, and it can be multiplied in a good way and not in bad. Because again, reciprocity does not miss anyone. So maybe this is a pre-warning. I don't know what it is. And maybe it's a warning for me. I don't know what this is, right? But I'm going to be obedient in talking about it. And it could be just to fix me up and to tighten things up. I'm willing, I'm open, and I'm honest. So change me, oh Lord, if that is what this whole show is about. If anybody else didn't get anything, that's fine. But I heard a lot. But I also want to please share with people who not even who you think, but just share, because sometimes people just think that their success is good. But check this out. Like, okay, Trey Songz. I just saw this in the news, right? So Trey Songz is in the news, or it was this video that I saw. It may have been on Instagram, right? And they were saying that Trey Songz, if you did a documentary on Trey Songz like they did with R. Kelly, you would be shocked at what you will find, right? But because it was no proof until there was proof with R. Kelly, people still honored him for his successes and not his character, his morals, or his integrity. And regardless of how high up on the peak you get, if those three things are not intact, your foundation is not stable. And you can reach high, but that fall is going to be a big fall when you fall. So if we get that foundation together of character, integrity, and morals, there's nothing that can stop us, okay? Right. The success without integrity won't last forever. No. And then it most of the time comes right back around and bites you in the butt. So it's really good to do good business practices. It's really good to be honest and upfront. It'll be good to have standards and to know your qualities and know who you are and allow people to know who you are. Okay? So I love you guys. I know it's shorter than an hour, but I know that at this juncture, I can keep saying the same things, right? Oh, and by all means, we can also open the floor for comments and things like that. We don't have to necessarily end, but I know that my segment for this particular show has been closed. Like, we need to really work on it and make sure that our foundation is built on something that's going to last. Like Dion said, success without integrity won't last forever. It won't last forever. It will turn around and bite you in the end. Tifa said that her pastor says, don't let your talent take you somewhere your character can't keep you. And that is the truth. It's kind of like God won't allow certain doors to open for you because he knows that if that door opens for you, you're not strong enough, you may fall. Why would he bless you to fall? Why would he bless you to fall? Right? But that don't let your talent take you somewhere your character can't keep you. That is a foundational thing. That is an inside job. No one can fix your character but you. No one can change the narrative about you but you. But it is possible. And you can change character flaws. I know I'm trying to every single day. I still have them. No one's perfect. I still have them, and I have to work on them every day. So work on yours. Do your daily agenda and make sure you check to make sure your moral compass is on the up and up. Because there's so many people that's lost right now. And they're wondering why they're lost, and it's because they'll just do whatever for a buck. We have to be more stronger than that, even if we need it. Because not all money is good money, right? This part must be good because my nose just got stuffy. But I say, y'all have a good night. I love y'all to life. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. And I will see you next week. Same bat station, same bat time. Success versus character, morals, and integrity. Tifa says, people are in a hurry, especially if they don't trust God. Yeah, they are. They want that quick. Let me make something happen. That's why there's so many scammers out there. That's why so many people, just on Facebook, on Instagram alone, there's so many scammers out there. No integrity, no character. They don't care what they're doing to ruin other people's lives just as long as they do it. But if it gets them highlighted, if it gets them the money that they're looking for, if they are getting everything that they desire without having to do the hard work, then hey, But anyway, I love y'all to life. Y'all have a good night. Please check out Sways by Shay, style from casual to classy. You choose. You can sway either way. It's on aliveshoes.com. Just type in Sways. And if you want to purchase them, I have coupons. And look out for the sneakers that will be coming out next month in May. All right. Tifa says, scammers prey on the gullible people who are in a rush. Yes, they are, or don't trust God, like you say, or they want that quick, fast, in a hurry, and they know that people are really tight for money and will do anything. I'm not saying. And guess what? I got caught by a scammer. I did, and it was at the worst part of it. I was like, my God, what else? But I was in a rush. I didn't trust God. You understand what I mean? So listen, things happen. Make sure your character is intact. That's the only thing that you can control. Your decisions, your morals, your integrity, what you stand for, and your character, how you carry yourself, your reputation. All right, y'all. Love y'all to life. Till we meet again next week, same bat station, same bat time. Still on the road to motivation and keeping up that spunk in the first month of the second quarter. I love y'all. If it looks too good to be true, it probably is. And it's so true, right? Thank you, T. Bye. I love you guys. I see y'all later. Good night, Tange. Run it back. It's okay. I love y'all. Please share, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Love you. Peace. Good night. Like love, peace, and hair grease. Later, guys.
Welcome, everyone. We want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to be with us. Come on, let's get to the root of it.
In these times that we live, we take strides to move forward. We strive to be more, stay strong and be focused. Start a while, we make choices, live or die. Take over starts at the root, and the truth may be hard to swallow. Step one, self-love above anything else.